Hi, I've been thinking about this for a while, so I'm going to try to get rid of that. So about a year ago, I manifested my quote-unquote dream job, which is something I was thinking about for like 6 or 7 years, and here it is. Now a year later, contrast has taught me I think I'm going to leave it and actually leave New York City and go home. So this has been in my mind for 6 months, and I'm wondering if
Did the job, does it leave you in a different place than you were when you got there?
Definitely.
Are you in a more decided place than you were when you got there?
Decided? No, because I haven't made a decision for my next phase, I guess, or...
Well, think about it. Why are you leaving?
I want to go home.
But why do you want to go home?
I want family and friends.
But why do you want family and friends?
I think it'll make me happy.
But why do you want family and friends and to be happy? Because not having family and friends doesn't feel good, so it helps you to focus more. And so now you are focused more, and so you do know something more in a stronger way than you've ever known it before. You are in a different place. You are in a stronger place of attraction than you were before. So since there is no regression, there's no stepping back. Your dream job didn't fail you. It just propelled you in a direction differently than you thought it would, but it did clarify some things for you, and so you're stronger and in a better place now than you were before. Do you know that? Can you know that? We know that. Do you know that?
Yeah, I mean, the family, friends first is new, and I think that's, of course, more important. And it's just, so yeah, it's just, I guess it just pivoted.
Well, now, so we have
direction.
some questions for you. This is something that you may be getting at. Have you heard us pretty well today? Have you been following the things that we've been talking about the receiving mode? Yeah. And can you accept that in all waking moments that you are in the receiving mode of something? Your receiver is turned on and you are in the receiving mode of something. And so you may be receiving from your inner being. That's what we've been talking about. Or you may be receiving from a stream of consciousness of man's spin-off thoughts. There are lots of thought patterns around. There are a lot of broadcasters around. There are a lot of voices around and opinions around and rivers of opinions around. So there's a lot of broadcasting. Source is beaming at a very high frequency, and it's a very strong signal. But if you're not in the vicinity of it, you could be picking up on some other things. And so one of the things that Esther has been doing a lot recently, as we've been really emphasizing getting into this receiving mode, and she's been deliberately doing it through meditation and enjoying the moment that a new thought drops in and acknowledging that this new thought is definitely a thought that I am definitely receiving, no matter how mundane it seems to be. This is a reception of source energy. So Esther's been asking herself the question a lot as a strong thought comes. Oh, what receiving mode am I in? Am I picking up on some long time vulnerability that I've felt and I just got in the vicinity? Or am I receiving from source? So we just want to step back just a little bit from everything that you told us before and that we said back. We just want to ask you the question, does it feel to you like the idea to leave this job came from source, or do you think you were receiving from someplace else when that thought came?
Honestly, a mixture of both.
Well, maybe, but which does it feel like? Is this source knowing where you are in relationship to what you want and giving you very strong impulses? Was it an impulse that when it came, did it feel like elation or did it feel like relief? Did it feel like bouncing off the wall enthusiasm, like you have to do this, like nobody's going to stop you from it, or like you need to justify what you're doing and sort of defend your decision to do it? Which did it feel like?
It feels better when I think of home.
Well, we're asking you some very specific questions. Yeah. Does it feel like yes, or does it feel like Does it feel like relief, or does it feel like the answer to your greatest dream?
Oh God, I want to stay closer to the elation, but now that you're saying this, maybe it is relief, because
it is for sure. And the reason that it is because it didn't come from meditation. It didn't come from alignment. It didn't come from strong asking. It didn't come from the receptive mode. It came from your attention to things that aren't working, and your attention to loneliness, and your attention to that. And so you were in the receiving mode of something else. Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. Now, it doesn't mean that it's wrong in this sense. You can't get it wrong, and you never get it done. And so we're not for a moment saying don't do it, but what we are saying is don't do it. What we are saying is get into the best feeling place. In other words, meditate and follow that.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course. You're in charge of you.
So I meditate every morning and at night. It's something I've been doing for a long time. I've been listening to you for a while. So every morning when I've meditated and I'm listening to you on my way to work, like I'm feeling really good. And I think about going home as like, it's like home version 2, where it just feels really good.
Before you go further, because we're sort of getting into a spiral here, we want to ask you, you said something really important when you first sat down. You said, I thought I was going to my quote, quote, dream job. So what's not so dreamy about it?
Like I work from 9 a.m. to like 9 p.m. and I'm like, I think the work-life balance is the biggest thing. So would you say it's difficult for you to stay in the receiving mode under these conditions? Yeah.
It's like too many jets are flying over.
Yeah.
So you want to go somewhere where there are not so many jets flying over, and you think you can get into the receiving mode better. And we want to say, get into the receiving mode anyway. Because the thing is, if you go somewhere else because you're unhappy with where you are, you take yourself with you. You see, during all of that, you've practiced a point of attraction, and you're going to take that point of attraction with you. And you believe that when you get home, where everybody loves you and where it feels more friendly and everything, that you'll feel different, and you will to some extent, but your vibration will not change enough to make a really big difference. Plus, now you're taking new vibrations with you, like I thought it was my dream job and it didn't turn out to be. You're compounding some things that will work against you a little longer. Are you following us a little bit?
I think I got a little confused with what that last line was.
It seems like that under the conditions that you're currently living, that if you change those conditions, remember we talked about unconditional? Well, this is conditional. If you could change those conditions, that then the new conditions would cause you to feel better. And in some regards, you would feel a little better. But now there are other conditions that you have also changed that will make you feel worse. Like, I tried and it didn't work out. I thought it was my dream job and it wasn't. You've picked up some things along your physical trail that are still with you and still part of your point of attraction. That if you can release them where you stand, rather than migrate to a new place where you try to release them, because if you migrate, you won't release them. Do you hear that? If you conditionally go do something, then the condition is different and you're stuck with the vibration that you picked up that will rear its uncomfortable head again.
Yeah.
Usually pretty soon. That was really good. Everybody really gets that. So when you think about it, what you want is to feel good. And you believe that you'll feel better when you go home. But why not want to feel good and want to feel good wherever you are? Why not decide that you can feel better where you are? Why not decide that you can feel good even though the workload is more than you want it to be? Why not decide that you can focus upon other factors that allow you to feel good? Why not feel good? Why not just get so good at what you're doing that you feel so good about what you're accomplishing, and then feeling good, if you want to, go home?
Yeah, and yeah. And I know, like I know it's a conditional thing, and I know that is something I in each moment I'm trying to do.
And I know that it's what I usually do, and I know it's what everybody else does. But are you sure you want to do it now? Because nothing will change if you do that.
No, it's actually what got me into this job. I remember I was in that state in my old job where I was like the happiest, and I was like, yeah, and I was just a light to be around, and everyone was wonderful. Like I was seeing people differently. It was great. And then, I segued into the next thing. And I know that was part of it. I guess it's just this desire feels so strong. It's been here for a while. And I used to thrive. I used to be in New York City not knowing.
Say it again. Ooh. This desire meaning?
The desire to leave and to go home.
But hear this. The desire to not be here is not that great of a desire. It's sort of a knee-jerk response to unwanted things. Now, I know what I don't want, so I know what I do want. But when you know what you don't want and you know what you do want, you throw what you do want into the vortex, your inner being mixes what you now do want with all the other things that you have wanted, and there were reasons that you didn't stay home that are in there too. Uh-oh. You see what we're getting at? As you've lived life, you put independence, you put new experience, you put adventure, you put creativity.
Oh yeah,
you put all of that in there, and now
you're
saying, I want to take that out, and I want to take that out,
Yes,
I want to
yes,
take
yes.
that
That's
out,
exactly
and I just
what's
want to
happening.
go home.